Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on Spotlight today. Today we have Brian Cooper of Cooper Inspection Services, who's going to give us a great rundown of everything we can look forward to on using his inspection services and some things that, we may not know about and some things he can point out to us as well. So without further ado, Brian, go for it. Take it away.
I appreciate it. Good morning, everybody. I would like to share my screen. All right, I'm assuming everybody can see that?
Yes, we can see
All
your
right.
screen.
So my name is Brian Cooper from Cooper Inspection Services. I started this business in 2018. I am right up the road from you guys in Hillsborough. This is a presentation that I give to my BNI group periodically. Just kind of goes down what I offer. So obviously residential home inspections up to 4 units. Pre-listing inspections, I'll talk about that more in a little bit, but that has been a big success. 11-month warranty inspections, commercial inspections. I do radon testing, mold and indoor air quality testing, WDI inspections. I also do pools and spas when they are open. I do not do closed pools, but I have somebody that I can refer for that. He uses an underwater drone and also does level 2 if anybody needs somebody that does that work. And I am certified for thermal imaging. I have level 1 certification with the handheld camera and with the drone. Some of my keys to success have been the technology. I use a drone to inspect the roofs. My software is it's amazing. It's ever evolving. Most softwares you get 1 update a year. My software I usually get about 1 a month. It's straightforward. I have attorneys that actually use me because of my reports. They like my reports. There's a built-in repair request generator within my software. So instead of having to drag and drop or copy and paste, you can actually go through item by item and click whether you would want a credit or want the item repaired. And at the end of it, you click create PDF and it creates your repair request within minutes. Thermal imaging has helped a lot just to find issues that are kind of hidden. I use electric radon monitors. I'll get into that more in a little bit as well. And I keep up with my CEUs, my education. Communication-wise, I keep things in perspective with my clients. I'm not an alarmist. Obviously, if I have to call something major out, I'm going to call it out, but I'm going to guide the client and what avenues they should take to research it or what they should ask for. But I try not to kill deals. I'm not one of those inspectors. My reports are delivered. I guarantee 24 hours. Most of the time, my morning inspection is done by that night, and my afternoon inspection is done by 7 a.m. the next day. I'm an early riser, and I get right in my office and get to work. So the other thing is going above and beyond. If I have local inspections in Somerset County, I will set an electronic radon monitor 2 days prior to the inspection if I can. That way, when we go for the inspection, I know the results and I have that radon report the very next day. Inspecting roofs and the exterior before or after the scheduled inspection date because of rain or snow. If we have bad weather, I mean, it's been brutal lately. I literally keep a list in my notes of what houses I need to go back to inspect the roofs or exterior. Usually I'll do the exterior in the rain, but the roof itself, I can't fly my drone in the rain, but I will go back. I will go early. Whatever's needed. I'm not going to just disclaim a roof because it was raining the day of the inspection. Obviously who I'm looking for, if you got first-time home buyers, I will say this, when I get a first-time home buyer, my inspection may take a little bit longer because I educate them on the house. I help them with ideas on what they can do in the future as far as renovations or upgrades. And I enjoy first-time home buyers because I know what they're getting into because I was there. People looking to upsize or downsize. I do a good amount in the 55+ communities in Somerset. I have actually 2 of those next week scheduled already. If you have investors, residential or commercial, Usually what I do with them is depending on the volume of work they do, it definitely can be discounted. If I'm going to get a certain amount of inspections per year out of those investors. And then the sellers with the pre-listing inspections, that's been something that especially with this market, if I go into a house, I do a pre-listing inspection. It's a full report that I give to the client. And as we're going through the house, I'll tell people like, this is something you should definitely take care of. This is something you can leave for the other inspector to find. And I kind of listed so that way, you know, with the disclosure, they can disclose certain items if they want, or they can get them repaired prior to listing the house. But it also gives them the opportunity to shop around to get a better price on repairs, as opposed to having to do it after the buyer's inspection is done, and now they're under the gun to get stuff done, and they have to pay a higher price. So the other thing is relocation companies I've worked with in the past. And I know what is expected out of that. So just some stuff I found, you know, that I like to highlight. This house, I had to call out a structural engineer. This is actually a friend of mine. He's a prominent person in Hillsborough. I won't mention who he is, but he called me over just to look at his foundation. And this actually, the picture doesn't do it justice, but this wall was bulging about 3 to 4 inches. His pool equipment was on the other side of it. So instead of the pool equipment being mounted on the other end of the pool, far away from the house, it was right next to the house in the mulch bed. And I believe it was leaking for a long time. And that hydrostatic pressure just pushed this wall in from, you know, it didn't have anywhere to go on the other side of the pool. And then you've got a pool with 20,000 gallons of water in it. And it's kind of, you know, in my opinion, too close to the house. But this was about, I think it was a $48,000 repair. They jacked everything up, knocked these walls down, and actually rebuilt 2 of his foundation walls. Microbial growth, obviously, when there is visible microbial growth, I am going to swab that and test it if the client agrees to a mold test. I will do air sampling. I use a lab in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The labs in New Jersey do not test for the same amount, and they're not as thorough, in my opinion, for the molds they test for. So my stuff gets shipped FedEx 2-day, and I have that mold report within 2 days to be able to tell the client if this is just a surface issue that can be cleaned up, or if there are mold spores in the air and further remediation is needed. Some of the fun plumbing issues I've had. I got pushed back that the seller didn't want to fix this water heater on the left. Caulking is no way to repair plumbing. It is going to fail at some point. And then underneath sinks, people don't realize that those enamel sinks that are in the bathrooms, they're actually, most of them are cast iron underneath. So I get down, I take a good look and take pictures underneath, because once they corrode to the point of this one, they will definitely end up leaking. WDI damage. This was probably one of the worst cases I saw. This was a barn on a house on Millstone River Road. And I don't know how part of this structure was still standing. Those termites had been in there for years, just eating up this wood. There was also powder post beetle damage, which is not as common as it used to be. Structural issues. You know, I have at least one house a week where I find screw jacks. And I am okay with a screw jack if it's for a soft floor area or a floor that's a little bouncy. But if they're using it for a structural support, it is not proper. Anything structural needs to have a footing underneath it. It can't just rest on a 4-inch basement slab. The right picture was a plumber drilled, you know, a 4-inch hole in a main beam of a house. Definitely weakens that area. That was in need of immediate repair, because the whole floor above it was out of level. There are ways to do things, and then there's the wrong way, and that's what I look for. I spoke to Lawrence about this before we kind of got started. What's something I find on every house, and it's downspouts draining too close to the house. So this downspout was draining right next to an outside garage wall. This garage floor was about 18 inches below grade. And as you could see on the bottom and all the way up, that's just moisture damage. And there's actually moisture on the floor of the garage. Once you get the downspouts away from the house, it will eliminate a lot of moisture issues and efflorescence in a basement. So this house was unique. This what's up above here is a balcony off the master bedroom, or actually one of the bedrooms upstairs. It was a fiberglass balcony, but you can see the stains on the outside of the house here. And then you can see the stains in the bedroom. And then this with the thermal camera, this is all active moisture. This is moisture that's in there. That was another very expensive job. They had to tear the walls apart, tear the balcony apart just to repair it properly. But I did find out that the sellers did all the work. Clients closed on the house. This is from probably about 2 years ago, I would say. For my commercial inspections, this was a commercial building out in Clinton. I started this with my drone, and when I saw the condition of the roof from the drone, I was able to call a friend in that's out in that area to get a ladder big enough to get up on this roof. We went up together, and it was just a disaster. Now, I could have written it up one way with my drone pictures, and it would have been bad enough, but I did want to see for myself and get some up-close photos. So I actually got on this roof to take a look at it. I have a drone with a thermal camera on it. Not everybody does this, but I use that more on the commercial side for solar panel field inspections, but I can use it on solar panels on the roofs of houses. Now, as you can see here, the yellow areas are most likely short circuits or open circuits. This was a house I did in Hillsborough where they asked to get the solar panels inspected. So it's not something that everybody does, but I do have the drone to take thermal pictures as well. And that is it. Let me stop my share. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm always available. Is that Nina that I know?
Nina.
Yes, Brian.
Good morning. How are you?
Yes, we both the Ninas are here, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
Yes. One of the things I didn't mention, there's an online scheduler on my website. If it's easier to do, there is something going on with it right now with time slots. I don't have time slots set up, but somebody had trouble yesterday scheduling something. I said, just schedule it for whatever slot you can, and I'll adjust the slot. If you do have clients or you use my online scheduler, keep in mind, once you add radon and a termite report to the home inspection, the price will be discounted about $75. So don't just go off the pricing on the website. And I do have some good blog posts. I have a little bit more information about my pre-listing inspections on there. And I'll close it with the 11-month warranty inspections. For new construction, the house that's in my, I'll go this way, the house that's in my background there, that is an Upper Saddle River. It's a big name company, but that development went in during COVID. I have done 7 houses in that development now. Normally I don't go all the way to Upper Saddle River, but I made a deal where I would do 2 or 3 of those houses a day if I had to go up there. But I've done 7 of the houses up there. None of them had less than 15 deficiencies. I think the most I found was 23. They were built during COVID, and I understand there was problems with labor, problems with materials and availability. But I think all these houses were over 1.5 million, and a lot of what I found, there's no excuse for that in a new house. So if you know anybody that's bought new construction, I can go in, do an 11-month warranty inspection, and give them a good list to bring back to the builder to repair. And that inspection is also a little bit of fit and finish. So it's not going to strictly be home inspection according to my standards of practice. I will put some cosmetic stuff in there. I will put, settling cracks, and hopefully they can get the builder to take care of it. So that is it. Thank you for having me today. It's good to see everybody.
Thanks for coming on today, Brian. Brian, I just have a question. What's your standard price for home inspection? So
like a 2,500 square foot, 4-bedroom colonial, around $650, and that's home inspection, radon, and termite. I discount for condos and townhouses. My condo prices are cheap. I start at like $300. Townhouses usually start between $400 and $450. And then if there's radon, a townhouse usually tops out at $500 with a radon test. home inspection and the termite report.
Okay.
Can you put up
Anyone
your
else have any
contact
other
information?
questions? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, can you put up your contact information again?
Yes, I'll put it right in the chat.
Thank you.
Brian, whenever I work with you, it's always very appreciated. So great work and good team effort whenever I'm doing a deal with you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Awesome. Anyone else have any other questions for Brian while we still have him?
Thanks, Brian.
Quick one here. Does he do pool inspections?
I do pool inspections only when they're open. I do have a referral if you need somebody to do a pool over the winter. He's got an underwater drone. He pulls the cover back a little bit, puts his drone under, and he does. It's kind of a limited inspection because sometimes the pool is dirty and cloudy because it's been covered. But as long as the pool has been open for at least 3 or 4 days, I do full pool inspections.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
And how much is that, Brian? The pool inspection?
It's $225 for mine.
Okay. You check the mechanicals also?
Yes, I do. Yep.
Okay.
And then the mold testing for me is $350. There's not a lot of wiggle room on that because it is one of the more costly inspections on my end. I have to pay for the materials and pay for the lab work. So, you know, with radon, I try to keep it as reasonable as possible. But mold is actually expensive on my end. I don't make a lot on it.
Brian, is there, Nina's saying, is there a way we can get all of these prices together so we can also share it within the office, if you don't mind, if there is something that you can send to Lawrence?
Yes, yep, I'll send something over this afternoon.
Okay, perfect. That's great.
All right, I think that's pretty much it. So I want to thank you again, Brian, for coming on today. I really appreciate it. And we'll definitely see you again soon.
You got it. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. Have a good weekend. And as Lawrence and I were talking before some of you got on here, I think the spring market is breaking open because I am actually getting very busy. So hope to hear from you guys in the future. Take care. Have a good weekend.
Absolutely. Have a great one. All right, guys. This was a great and productive spotlight session that we had today with our guest Brian. So that's always really good. Is there anything anyone wants to talk about while we're all together? How's the market? Ash, how's the market in your area?
Sorry, I was on mute, Lawrence.
You're okay.
Terrible for inventory. There's no inventory coming up, so that's a challenge, big challenge.
Yes,
It's like a
that's
trickle
always our-
effect. One
Yes.
one or two listings every like few weeks. That doesn't really help.
Yeah, it's definitely a good test for all of us to make it through the rest of this year and actually kind of get some get as many deals as we can possibly work in. I think you know the trouble is that people are going to sell when they want to sell, right? We can't really persuade anyone to just get rid of their house if they're not really comfortable doing so. So it's one of those waiting games that we just have to wait it out, and hopefully at one point everyone just decides to sell their house, and then we'll be back to normal.
Yeah, we want that time frame,
Yes.
like when everybody's ready to sell, rather than this one where everybody's just sitting, twiddling thumbs and waiting on something to come up.
Right. Well, everyone pretty much is sitting on a lot of equity right now. Every home over the last I guess maybe 2 years has seen an uptick of about $50,000 in equity. Even if you
Oh,
bought
yeah.
your house over the within the last 5 years, your house has gone up by at least 50 grand.
Yeah, we just got our tax cards. Man, it's shocking. It's gone up a lot.
Yes, it definitely has gone up a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming on with us today. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys around the office very soon.
Take care. Bye, Lawrence.
Have a good one. Take care.